All right. Start off. Say Shalom Israel. Oh man. With ISUPK. Start out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. I'm Priest and Officer 1000 Kasar Pakad.
Priest and Officer Alawan 500.
We got Amawan, 500. And this is the Wednesday night law class. We're going to go ahead and get into tonight's topic. Tonight's topic is something that has plagued Black and Hispanic communities in this hell that we call America. And the topic is divorce. Divorce is a sin if you follow Christ. If Yahweh Shai Mashiach is your king and you're following Christ, then divorce is a sin. It's something that is lawful here in America. It's something that's promoted here in America. So lock it. All right. Man, I'm not getting no reception. I might have to try to call on your line. Okay. So lock it. We are having quick technical difficulties getting on this conference call.
Please enter your PIN to join this conference.
Let's see.
Welcome to Uber Conference by Dial Pad. Joining conference now.
Shalom, Lord Christ. Salaki. My phone got disconnected for some reason. Might be bad reception. But I'm back. All right, we are back into the class. Salaki. Once again, it's ISUPK. Start out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. I'm Priest and Officer Kasar Pakad. This is the Wednesday night law class. Tonight's topic is divorce. And why it is unlawful for someone to be a follower of Christ and to believe it's okay to divorce your wife, or sisters to believe it's okay for them to divorce their husband. You have any questions and comments on the phone before we get in? Okay. Most High Christ. And if it does get connected, I'll call back in. We'll call with Imawan's phone. He'll probably have a little better reception. But bear with us. All right. First precept I want to bring out is in the book of Mark in the 10th chapter.
Mark?
Yeah, Mark chapter 10.
Okay.
And we'll just start at verse 1.
Okay.
We'll give the full context. Yeah, kind. It is definitely a little darker than usual. Seem like.
Light.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Mark 10:1. And he arose from thence and cometh into the coast of Judea by the further side of Jordan, and the people resort unto him again. And as he was wont, he taught them again.
Right, as he wanted to do, he did what he wanted. As he wanted to, he taught the people again. Christ is going to and fro, teaching Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians in the land of Israel and all the surrounding areas that he made his journeys through. All right, you can keep reading.
Okay, verse 2. And the Pharisees came to him and asked him, is it lawful for a man to put away his wife, tempting him?
Right. Why does it say tempting him? Is it lawful for a man to put away his wife? These Pharisees were the religious leaders at this time. That's who they were, the accepted religious leaders of the Israelites there in Judea and Jerusalem, all over. The Sadducees and the Pharisees were the ones today, which we would say like the Christian church. Who your mama went to listen to would be the Sadducees, would be the Pharisees.
Pastors.
Right. Your T.D. Jakes,
right.
Your Creflo Dollars, even your Joel Osteens.
Right.
Because just like King Herod was not an Israelite, he was an Edomite, but he was running in the so-called king of the Jews. So they had people that were not even Israel leading Israel the same way today. You want to know this Bible? Open your eyes and see what's going on today. The same way pastors What do pastors got today? These mega churches.
Right.
They riding around in Bentleys, Rolls Royces, and
$63 million planes.
Planes, jets. So what do you think
Right.
the Sadducees and Pharisees had back then? The flyest chariot,
Right.
the newest wheels, the biggest horse,
Right.
thoroughbreds,
Right.
well brushed and groomed. Horses go for a lot of money today. That's the same thing back then.
Back then.
And one of the main places I think they get these high level horses is like Arabia. These Edomites that race horses in Kentucky Derby.
Right.
That bloodline, a lot of them come from Arabia.
Right.
So in that area, the Middle East, having a great horse was something. Camels, all those things, money, food. Pastor after church, where they going? Get something to eat. They going to the nice restaurant, all of that. That's what the Sadducees and Pharisees were doing back then. Nice garments, probably still wasn't fly to warrior standards, but whatever the time, just like how they have suits today, that's what they were rocking back then. But they're coming to trap him by asking him a question, tempting him, exactly. Asking him a question that they already know the answer to. How do we know they know the answer to this? Because this is in the law. Let's keep reading. Read that verse once again.
Mark chapter 10, verse 2. And the Pharisees came to him and asked him, is it lawful for a man to put away his wife, tempting him?
What's another reason? Why were they asking Christ this question? I asked my brother Iman, what, besides them tempting him or them knowing parts of the law, why are they asking Christ this question specifically? What do you think?
Basically, I think they was trying to tempt him because they wanted to hold their seat in the Romans arena. You know what I'm saying? They want to keep their seat in the Romans arena.
Okay.
So tempting him was like so-called like trapping him into making him think he was going to say something that wasn't lawful.
There, you're getting closer now. The first part is correct, but bring it on home. Why did they think he was going to say something incorrect?
Because when Christ was going around teaching the Bible, they wanted to catch him and make it seem like, they already knew he was given the law, but they wanted to trap him and make him seem like he was doing something wrong, so they have a reason to kill him.
Because he was teaching what?
He was teaching the Israelite law or the Israelite custom or what?
On this topic about, they said, I'm going to read it one more time. And the Pharisees came to him and asked him, is it lawful for a man to put away his wife?
Because they was, I'm going to say.
They felt Christ was teaching.
They felt Christ was teaching, I would say, I almost want to say, I know he wasn't teaching unlawful, but they were trying to get him to thinking he was going to say something unlawful.
Okay, yeah. You on to it. You got it right there. They're asking Christ, is it lawful for a man to put away his wife? Because they knew Christ was teaching men should not divorce their wives.
Right.
So if he's teaching you shouldn't divorce your wife and the law says you can, then Christ is a lawbreaker. Christ is telling people to break the law. That's why they're trying to trap him into saying he does teach that you should break the law of Moses and tell people they shouldn't get divorced. All right? So that's the trap.
Should get divorced or shouldn't?
Moses says you are allowed to divorce your wife.
If your wife was committing adultery.
We'll bring out the precepts. We'll bring out the precepts. But they knew that Christ taught men shouldn't divorce their wife. And if he says that or how he's teaching that, then they could say he's teaching to break the law and they could stone him, kill him, or whatever, like you said. All right, let's keep reading.
Okay, Mark chapter 10, verse 3. And he answered and said unto them, what did Moses command you?
Nigga, why are you even asking me? You know what I mean? You know I'm a priest of the Lord. I'm a prophet of the Most High. I know these laws in and out. When I was 12 years old, I was in the temple astounding y'all, teaching y'all. And you coming to me asking me, is it lawful? You can't read the book? You don't know the Bible yourself? Go ahead and read.
Okay, verse 4. And they said, Moses suffered to write a bill of divorce and to put her away.
Right. And they said Moses suffered to write a bill of divorcement and to put her away. Let's go to the precept. we're going to jump to Deuteronomy in the 24th chapter.
Something about, I know it has something to do with your inward parts. Let me see.
Let's see.
Deuteronomy
24. It's talking about divorcement here.
Okay, got it.
This is what they're quoting. So they already know the law. 24:1.
Okay, okay. Deuteronomy 24:1. When a man has taken a wife and married her, and it come to pass that she find no favor in his eyes,
right? Because
he found some uncleanness in her, that he write her a bill of divorcement and give her.
Read that last part again. Then he
found her some uncleanness in her. Then let him write her a bill of divorcement.
Right. So when a man had taken a wife, we know that sex is marriage. You laid down with this woman, and it come to pass that she find no favor in your eyes. You don't like how she's talking, her attitude. You don't like the way she doesn't make the bed every morning. Or you don't like the way she's making your eggs and she's burning the eggs every morning. She's doing this, she's doing that. Whatever it is, she's doing something that you disagree with, and now you can divorce her. Keep reading.
Okay.
And send her.
Let me see. And then let him write her a divorce of divorcement and give it in her hand and send her out of his house.
Right. Verse 2.
Verse 2. And when she is departed out of his house, she may go and be another man's wife.
Right. So now Moses is saying, you have found something wrong with this woman. Go ahead, write her a bill of divorcement. Get that on paper. That was something on paper. They keep talking about this marriage license. There's never been, if clearly they had something that you wrote down on paper. So if that was a law, they would have a law in here saying you need to have a marriage certificate. Write down on paper that this woman is your wife. That's not in the Bible. But there was one for divorce because they didn't want this woman going over here. She's sleeping with some other man. And brothers in Israel see that, they could stone her to death.
Right.
Your husband is so-and-so up the road. And what are you doing over here with him? Oh, no, my Lord, I had this Salaki. I had this piece of paper. Shows you he put me away. This is my new husband. They didn't want to have any whoredom and women just getting passed around. So they had a bill of divorcement. Let's see. Let's keep reading.
Verse 3, Deuteronomy 24, verse 3. And if the latter husband, hate her and write her a bill of divorcement, and giveth it to her in her hand, and she sendeth her out of his house, or if the latter husband died, which took her to be his wife.
Right. So now the second husband, she's just a monster. Now he wants to get rid of her. He's writing her a bill of a divorcement, or he dies. The second husband dies. Then what happens? Read verse 4.
Verse 4, Deuteronomy 24, verse 4. Her former husband, which sent her away, may not take her again to be his wife.
You can't take her back. That was that man's husband. It's not no back, no take backs. It ain't no, for lack of a better terms, they say in the world, no Indian giving. You don't give your wife away and then take her back, man. Because what?
He found, which her sent her away and may not be to be his wife. After that she is defiled, for that is abomination before the Lord.
Right. That's an abomination before the Lord. Women were made to really be with one man. And God forbid this situation comes about. She's dealing with another man. It shouldn't be any going back and forth. That just brings sin. It's an abomination. Who knows who the child's father is? When you got women, it gets real messy. We've seen what happens to women and men that live like this in America. You know what it's called? It's a TV show called Maury, where there's a woman on there that has 5 different husbands, 5 different men laying with her, and now, no one knows who the father
She
is.
don't know who the
Right.
Salaki, if I may.
Right.
Okay, going back into 24 and verse 1. So if he found her some uncleanness, so what is that uncleanness?
Uncleanness. So that's at his discretion. Now, that is both. See, this is why it's the part that the Sadducees, trying to ignore. The first part is, and it come to pass that she find no favor in his eyes. So that's things you personal. You just don't like the way she's talking, don't like the way she's cooking. Just don't like the way she chews her food. That is just getting on your nerves. The day you lay with her, everything was all good. The next day you sick of her. You want to get rid of her. Mm-hmm. But if he had found some uncleanness in her, that's her dealing with another man. That's her, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Being with
fornication. Yeah. Okay, committing adultery. All right.
Okay, so verse.
So now let's go back to Mark. We're going to go back. So this is the part that the Sadducees were talking about. And that's what Christ asked them. He said, well, what did Moses say? That's what Moses said. We heard what Moses said. And let's go and see what Christ is teaching.
Okay, Mark chapter 10, verse 3. And he answered and said unto them, what did Moses command you? Verse 4. And they said, Moses suffered to write a bill of divorcement and to put her away. Verse 5. And Yahushua, which is Christ, answered and said unto them, for the hardness of your heart, he wrote you this precept.
Right. Because of the hardness of your heart. This is why Christ wrote this. This is why Moses had this precept in here. Because the Israelites are coming out of where? Out of Egypt, out of slavery, out of captivity, out of being abused, beat down, women being assaulted, raped, molested, everything under the sun that we know happened in slavery here in America happened to the Israelites. And what happens when you come out of a situation like this? Kids that grow up in abusive homes, what do they turn into? Abusive people. People that grew up with someone disrespecting them, belittling them. They grow up and they disrespect their family. They belittle their wives. Wives belittle their husbands. They talk crazy to the children. All of these things happen after someone who's been oppressed for over 400 years. So because of the hardness of their heart, Moses suffered them. What does it mean to suffer someone? It means he's dealing with that, not because that's what he wants to do. It's something that he's saying, okay, because I know you might start killing each other out here in this new land, I'm going to suffer you to get the divorcement. So the homicide rate doesn't go up. Brothers out here choking their wives out. Sisters over here poisoning their husbands. Let's just let you write a bill of divorcement. You can separate and go your separate way. And this is why it happened. All right. Now read verse 6, Baba Kashar.
Mark chapter 10, verse 6. But the beginning of the creation.
But from
the beginning of the creation, God made them male and female.
So what is this talking about? You can go to the beginning of the creation. When male and female were created, and this is not just human beings. You got male tigers and female tigers. You got a male giraffe and a female giraffe. A male cockroach, a female cockroach. Animals, the whole entire earth is run off of masculine and feminine energy working together. So in the beginning, the Most High created male and female. Read verse 7.
Verse 7, for this cause shall a man leave his father and mother and cleave to his wife.
Ooh-wee. Your mama, the one that birthed you, the one that you had, you sucked, you breast milk, you ate off of her teat, as they say. You survived off your mother. Your father, the one who put his seed in your mother and gave you life.
Right. Taught
you how to walk. Taught you how to read and write and to sew for the sisters and how to cook, how to, farm for brothers back in these days. Everything, your mother and father, they taught you these things on how to survive. The ones that you love the most in the world, a young man is going to grow up and leave them. You don't want to be coming home and getting into bed with your mama as a grown man. You know, you don't want to be sitting there looking at your father all day, every day, because this is your best friend. There's a time when a man is gonna want to lay with a woman. A woman is gonna want to lay with a man. That's who you want to go to bed with at night. And that's what the Most High wants. That's glorious in His sight.
Right.
Doesn't mean you don't love your parents anymore. Doesn't mean you can't take care of your family and be with your family. But what it's saying is that the most important thing now has changed from them being the most important to now your wife and your children. You are the head of your household, and that's the most important thing. Right. That's the priority in your life. All right?
Okay, Mark 10, verse 8. And they twain shall be one flesh.
And those two shall become one. So they are what?
Let me see. And they twain shall be one flesh. So then they are no more twain, but one flesh.
Right. They are no more two. They're not twain. They become one flesh, one body. You are entering into this woman. That is the most sacred thing. I mean, what could be more personal? You talking about someone. This is how sick and disgusting America has become.
Right.
That you can go online, and these sisters in the world being monsters, you going online and meeting someone, and you going on Facebook talking to them about what's going on with your husband, what's going on in your household. He's doing this, he's doing that. You don't like what he's doing. You making posts to people in Japan, in the Middle East. They know what's going on in your household. But this brother that you are actually laying with at night, he's entering into your body. No one knows you better than that. You have become one flesh, and you are turning to other people. That's wicked.
Right.
That's evil. So let's keep reading.
Okay, verse 9, Mark chapter 10, verse 9. What therefore God has joined together, let not a man put asunder.
Right. The Most High created that. Anybody that's, entered into the matrix, as they say. You know what the matrix is, right? Correct? What's the matrix?
The matrix is the vagina.
Yeah, the womb. For lack of a better word, but yeah, exactly. The matrix of a woman. That is something glorious. The Lord created the matrix, and for you to go into there's nothing like it. You can't put a price on that. You can't.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's something that the Lord created, and so for Him to allow this to happen. A man shouldn't tear this up because a sister didn't wash some dishes. A woman shouldn't leave her husband because he didn't take out the trash.
Right.
For these sisters out there, you shouldn't leave your man because he has other women. That man has entered into you and become one with your body. You have to be with him forever. Keep reading.
Mark chapter 10, verse 10. And in the house his disciples asked him again of the same matter.
So they rocking with Christ. They at camp. They get it. They're not going to say anything and say, Salakia, sir. They got back to the house, though. They wanted to get the further breakdown on this because they know what Moses taught. And they're like, man, is Christ teaching something to break the law? What's going on here? Salakia, sir, can you further explain this to me? Go ahead and read.
Verse 11. And he said unto them, whosoever shall put away his wife and marry another committeth adultery against her.
Right. You committed adultery against her. How is that so? That sin is now on your head as a man. Because adultery is when a man does what?
Sleep with another man's wife.
Right. So he's not sleeping with another man's wife. His wife is sleeping with another man. You still have to bear that sin of the adultery because you made that possibility happen.
You put her away.
Exactly. Right. You made that option happen.
Right.
She didn't go out and find another man. You put her away.
You forced her to go to another man.
Right. And a woman still wouldn't necessarily have to go with another man, but you definitely made this possible. And so if she does do it, that's not on her head. It's on your. You have to bear that sin. And you have to think about these times as well. Back in the Bible, they did not have Section 8.
Right.
They didn't have a white man coming out, Captain Saver, and giving you food stamps. No unemployment back then. So a woman that wasn't able to go out in the sun and work hard like a man, get on a boat and fish or farm or do some blacksmithing, whatever it was that men were needed to do, hunting, period, to survive. Women weren't able to do this. They needed men to survive. They knew that much. So 9 times out of 10, a woman is going to go get another man, and you have committed adultery because you have let her go with another man. Let's read verse 12.
Verse 12. And if a woman shall put away her husband and be married to another, she committeth adultery.
Right. So there's another precept. It's in Matthew. I believe it's in the 19th chapter. It also explains that the only reason why a man can get a divorce from his woman is if she sleeps with another man. That is a lawful divorce. So Christ is not teaching you cannot ever get a divorce. It's only if your woman goes with another man, because now she has become his wife and his property. And if you lay with her, you are an adulterer. So that's the breakdown of divorce according to Christ. So let's go ahead and I'm just going to bring some things out about America. America has pushed divorce so much on our people. And it starts off with 2 things. One, it starts off when they tell us that you have to get this piece of paper to become married. So women think that they can sleep with this man, sleep with that man. They're not married. They feel like they're single. Really, that was your husband. You got another husband. And then once they finally do get quote unquote married, they're taught if he does certain things, if he's acting in this manner, guess what? If he gets another woman, girl, you have the right to leave him.
Right.
That's all they telling them. The Christian church, pastor gonna come say, well, sister, you are not equally yoked with that brother. The Bible says you need to be equally yoked. Then maybe you should go ahead and leave him. That's what they teach. And that's how you know they don't follow Christ. Christ did not come to do away with the law. Anyone that's teaching to transgress the law will be considered the least in the kingdom of heaven. So with that, let's see. So my precept's right here. Let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 12 and verse 4. We're going to get into this breakdown about being one body.
1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 4. Now there are diversities of gifts, but the same Spirit. 1 Corinthians 12 and 4.
Come. Now there are diversities of gifts, but the same Spirit. So this is Paul teaching the church, or the school, as we would say in ISUPK, teaching the school how to operate. And he's saying some brothers over here in the school going to be good at this. Some brothers going to be good at that. But you guys are the same Spirit. You're here to serve Christ. You're here to serve your King, Yahushua Mashiach. Keep reading.
Verse 5. And there are difference of administrations, but the same Lord.
Read.
Verse 6. And there are diversities of operations, but it is the same God which worketh in all.
Right. It's the same power that's worketh all in all. So it's just saying the same thing in different ways. You always have to be reminded that. And this is a brotherhood scripture as well. You come into the UPK, this brother may be good at a camp speaking. This brother may be good over here at holding Shamar. This other brother may be good with technology. This brother right here may just be good at being brotherly. You know, always being available and ready to put in work and opening up his home,
Right.
giving brothers food. That is that brother's talent. That's that brother's skill. And that's very important. But why did you come into the UPK? That is all the same. This brother's good at computers and this brother's good at building signs. But they both came into the UPK to serve the Lord. Don't ever forget that. Through rank system, whatever, brothers, this and that. Man, what did you come here for? You came here to serve the Lord. Doesn't matter if you're a trooper. Doesn't matter if you're a 5,000. Your initial reasoning to come into the ISUPK is to do work of the Lord. So don't focus on these things, especially if it's causing some type of division. Keep reading.
Okay, verse 7. For the manifestation of the Spirit is given to every man to profit withal.
Yeah, everything that you were given. If everybody came into UPK and they were computer guys, then who the hell is going to build the signs?
Right.
If everybody came into UPK and they were good at, what's that? Just solely teaching classes, then who's going to go to camp?
Right.
If everyone is good at speaking at camp, but no brother is good on being shamar, then how are we going to survive through the camp? Everyone has these gifts that the Lord gave them to help everyone. We all will be helped. It says, every man to profit withal. It's going to help the whole school. Keep reading.
Okay, verse 8. For to one is given by the Spirit the word of wisdom.
Right.
To another, the word of knowledge by the same Spirit.
Right. The Lord is working. The same Spirit is the Lord. But he's working in this brother this way.
Right.
He's working in this brother that way. Keep reading. Verse 9.
Verse 9. To another, faith by the same Spirit. To another, the gifts of healing by the same Spirit.
Right. So let's bring it on back to the initial topic. These are all things that can apply to a school and building up and being one body. But you also have to look at this as dealing with your wife and dealing with your family and your relationship in your household, and understanding that this woman, you don't need to be, well, so-and-so rib, she know how to sew, and so-and-so rib can cook the hell out of the ribeye. Okay, Most High in Christ.
Right.
Your rib may not be good at making a ribeye. You can work with a teacher, or you might just have to cook the ribeye your damn self out. But she does have some gift.
Right.
She does have some talent. The Lord can work with her and do things. She might not be a homebody. She might be a sister that can go out and get a good job and work over here and deal with these oppressors and talk to them and talk that talk, got an education, and now she's able to do that.
Right.
You got to see that and accept that for her and still see that she is part of your one body.
Salaki, if I may.
Go ahead, read. So I can speak, please.
That goes back to Corinthians chapter 12. Now, there are diversities of gifts, and those are those gifts. She may know how to cook, and not know how to, and, interpret the scriptures, or she may know how, she may be good in, keeping the family, keeping the family house together, and not know this. So those are the gifts, I know what you're saying now.
Right.
Those are the gifts that, the Most High gives, different people, She may know how to balance a checkbook, but not know how to cook,
Right.
She has some type of skill. So we got to use what the Most High gives us and use it to our, to his and our best ability.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Drop down to verse 12.
Verse 12, for as the body is one, has many members, all the members of that one body, being many, are one body.
Right. So yeah, your body has many members. You got thumb, your finger, your middle finger, you got another hand.
Arm,
exactly.
the leg,
elbow, the shoulder.
If the leg was doing the same thing as the arm was doing the same thing as the leg, you wouldn't know how to walk.
Right.
Somebody got to be able to, kick the leg and then grab something that,
Exactly.
So we all that one body. We all have to put it all together and make it that one body so we can move, you know what I'm saying, mechanically and do things according to how the Most High set it up.
Right. And you just broke it down. We're going to keep reading. So, yeah, let's go to verse 14.
Verse 14, for the body is not...
So that's like it. Yeah. Go ahead, read 14, Salah.
For the body is not one member, but many.
Mm-hmm. Read.
If the foot shall say, because I am not the hand, I am not of the body. Is it therefore not of the body?
Right. And that's another thing.
Right.
This is for you sisters out there that want to be in charge of your man, that Real Housewives has told you that you should be the leader of the household, happy wife, happy life.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you are not the head of the household doesn't mean you're not important. That's what Christians want to say about the ISUPK. That's what they want to say. Fake Israelites think that just because we are masculine men, we talk with, what is the word? We talk with authority.
Mm-hmm.
They think that we have to be beating our women at home.
Mm-mm.
They think that we don't care about women. You'll be surprised how many times in interviews people come and say, well, we never see any women with y'all. Do y'all have women? Do you just keep them locked up in a cage? Just because the woman is not the head doesn't mean she's not important.
Right.
And that's what's being brought out here. It says, if the foot shall say, because I am not the hand, I am not of the body, is it therefore not of the body?
Right.
La. Verse 16.
Verse 16. And if the ears shall say, because I am not the eye, I am not of the body, is there therefore not of the body?
Mm-hmm.
Verse 17. If the whole body were an eye, where the hearing,
right?
If the whole were hearing, where were the smelling?
Right. So both ways, man. You in the
Right.
school, if every brother is just sign building, then nobody's on Shamar. Everybody's on Shamar, and nobody's teaching classes. If everybody's teaching classes, then who's going to camp? You know, the Lord gave everyone their abilities for those reasons. When it comes to your household, the woman cannot be the man. She's here to do this. If the woman was doing everything, then what would the man do? If the man's doing everything, then what would the woman do?
Right.
And so sisters need to keep that in mind. And you can also apply this to a man having more than one wife. Yeah, sis, okay, you're able to do this, but this sister over here can do that. You still are a part of this man. He's your family. It doesn't change because he has another woman now. Just like a man can have more than one child, he loves them all. He just has a different personal relationship with each child. So let's see, we're going to drop down. Let's drop down to verse 21.
Verse 21. 1 Corinthians 12 and 21. And the eye cannot say unto the hand, I have no need of thee. Nor again the head to the feet, I have no need of you.
Right. There's no reason for a man. You feel like your woman is not cleaning enough. She's not submitting to you. She's not obeying your word. You're having these issues because you feel like she's not being the perfect robot that you want her to be, that you've seen other men have, that you feel like. And so you want to cut off your hand. You want to give her a bill of divorcement. Moses said if you saw something unfavorable in your sight, then you could divorce her. But he did this because of the hardness of your heart. Christ wasn't telling you to break the law. He was trying to show you the spirit of that law. And the spirit behind it was to stop us from killing each other. But it wasn't to have brothers out here just writing up a bill of divorcement. You might as well just say it's prostitution going on in Israel. Brothers, you know what I mean? It's like,
right.
If they knew sex was marriage,
right.
You go to the club, you meet someone, you have a sleep with her, and tomorrow you're like, man, what's that movie? What's it with Eddie Murphy? Boomerang. That brother Eddie Murphy didn't like the women's feet. I don't know if you remember that scene.
Yeah, ugly feet.
Yeah, the woman is beautiful, 10 dime piece, He get in the morning, he looking and pull them blankets back and see those feet, and he's out of there. You know what I'm saying?
Their feet got ran over by a lawnmower.
Right. And he if he was in ancient Israel, he'd write her that bill of divorcement and say, look,
Right.
you know what I mean? You got something that I don't like in my eyes. Here, you can go ahead and be somebody else's husband.
That's what the world teaches us, though. You know what I'm saying? We
Mhm.
learn from those. We see these movies, and you know what I'm saying. They set their heart on what they see these actors do. That's acting. That's
Right.
not real life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Real life is in this Bible. What the ISUPK, is trying to tell Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. What he's bringing out, in these scriptures. Just because one person doesn't do this,
Mhm.
your wife doesn't do that. You know what I'm saying? You can't just say, you know what, I don't want to be bothered with you no more.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's why it's important.
Put that head down and off with
Chop it off.
You know what I mean?
That's why it's important. You know what I'm saying? If you're going out to meet somebody, spend time. Spend that 6 months, like we say. Spend that 6 months to a year when
Right.
you get to know this person. That way, if it ain't working out, you're not breaking no laws. You know what I'm saying?
Man, clap it up for the 6 month rule, man. We gotta clap
damn
for
right.
the year rule, man. You know what I mean?
Right. You know what I'm saying? They give you time to know this person, get to know this person, and if it don't work out, you ain't broke no laws. She can go her way and you can go your way.
Right.
And things is, what I'm saying, is, what I'm saying, you staying within the law, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then when you meet somebody else, go through the same thing. Don't be tempting, you know what I'm saying, and let your flesh, overrun your decisions and, okay, this is one, you know what I'm saying? And then before you know it, you know what I'm saying, you done slept with her, you waking up with her, and then you find out, you know what I'm saying, she, you know what I'm saying, don't dust, you know what I'm saying? Don't cook your eggs like you want her to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? She don't, vacuum when you want her to or something like that.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Those things, you know what I'm saying, you have to work out within yourself. But that's why we say the 6 month rule, you know what I'm saying, to get to know that person so you don't have to commit these sins that the Lord done put down for us, and you know what I'm saying, and keep yourself insane. You know what I'm saying?
And so, like, if I may, just to go off of what you're saying, I forgot who I was talking with. Some brother was telling me the story. I don't know if he got into an accident or a wreck or something happened, and he lost certain capabilities. You know what I mean? And he had to work and work and work and suffer the pain to get that body part moving again, working again. I think he was given the option, or what was I forgot. They said, I think it was actually Officer Gabor was telling me last night. He was saying how his jaw, he got into an incident, his jaw had got broken. And the doctors were saying, we can do the surgery and, fix it up that way. And he's like, I'm a nigga. We don't want to do all that. So he just let it heal naturally. And it still gave him some problems. But as you're dealing with that time, working things out, making sure it's getting back to place. You don't want to just get rid of that body member. And so the same thing with these sisters. You might get a woman that has certain problems, certain issues. You're going to have to limp with her. Just like that leg.
Right.
Work that leg out, get it stronger,
Mm-hmm.
get it, you know what I mean? Keep doing your workouts, your exercises, pushing on it and dealing with it until it's working better. And it may never come all the way back, but you're going to keep on limping with that thing. Some sisters might have to limp with a brother along the way.
Right.
But you don't get rid of that body part. I know what somebody else going to say. Well, what if you get gangrene?
Right.
You're going to have to cut gangrene off. You might have to get diabetes, your leg off. Yeah, if you get disease and you have to come to that point where you got to cut that off, what is that? That's her dealing with another man. Now she is a disease that's going to affect the whole body, bringing this other man into your household and all of these things, man. So that is the point of cutoff. But other than that,
Right.
just because you walk a little funny out, that's no reason to get rid of this woman. And it may take 5 years, 10 years having patience and dealing with her. And that's why in the UPK, we push brotherhood so much.
Damn right.
Brotherhood does not just extend to your brothers in the school. The same patience that you have dealing with someone in the school, especially with a man, because even in the world, brothers that talk about going to jail, been in the jail system, believe it or not, you'll see some of the most respectful scenarios in the penitentiary than anywhere else in the world. That's why a lot of brothers come out of the penitentiary and they go right back in because people in the world are so goddamn disrespectful. You know what I mean? It's like you walking down the street, you moving too slow, somebody honk your horn at you to tell you to hurry up. Right. They're like, nigga, if we was behind them walls, nigga, I would have stabbed you in the neck. You know what I mean? Hey, man, you need to hurry the hell up. Nobody talking to another man like that when they know it's a life or death situation at any moment. They have a certain amount of respect. Hey, excuse me, can you? Hey, all right, bro, for sure. Have a good one. It's a certain level of respect because you see that your life is threatened. And so men, they come into the truth. It's easy for you to say, okay, this brother's over me. Khan, I don't want Khan. Or, this brother's under me. I'm going to, ask him to do it. He did something wrong. I'm going to check him. But it's still a man. I don't want to have him feel like we want to box and fight after this conversation. So I handle it a certain way. But when it comes to our women, a lot of us have learned being raised up, especially in the Black Hispanic community. A lot of us come from single parent mothers, and those mothers are very emotional sometimes. And so when they raise you up, they anger and their temper is very short and quick. We think when we hear don't be emotional, you always think in the world emotional means crying. Oh, she did this, and I'm gonna go in the room and cry about it. Nah, being emotional is she didn't do some dishes, and now you gotta yell at her. You gotta call her stupid or she's worthless. You gotta start berating her and flexing your anger up and letting your emotions get the best of you. You know what I mean? You're letting the emotions get the best of you instead of actually being brotherly with her as well. The same way if a brother got out of line or got out of order in the school and you have a brotherhood with him, the same way if your woman gets out of line, have some brotherhood with her and learn how to check her, but not do it in a way that's unbrotherly.
Right.
All right. And so let's see. Salaki, if I may, you want to pull the next precept? We can go to Matthew. Matter of fact, I wanted to read one more on this one. Let's read verse 25 and 26.
Okay. 1 Corinthians 12 and 25. That there should be no schism in the body, but the members should have the same care one for another.
Right. It shouldn't be any division between you and your wife and your household. You all should be together, one body. Okay. Most High Christ. All right. Let's go ahead and read verse 26.
Okay. Verse 26. And whether one member suffer, all the members suffer with it.
Right. Sister just think, oh man, my husband ain't got no job and he's doing this, he's doing that. We don't got the house like them or the car like them. And you just feel like you need to leave him because of the things he doesn't have or doesn't do. You need to suffer with him. In the same way, brothers, you thinking, well, the white woman, she's more submissive to her man. The Asian woman, they don't do all this. Why we got to deal with these black women that's like this and like that, man? That white woman didn't come. It's not a byproduct of 400 years of oppression, of rape and robbery, getting molested at a young age like black and Hispanic women have dealt with, had 2 or 3 abortions, her father taken away to prison, mother bringing men after men in and out of the household. This white woman didn't deal with those things. That sister did. So how are you not going to suffer with her and build her up and want to leave her at every drop of a dime for everything that she does wrong that you see is not right in your eyes? But you're not somebody that came from no circumstances either. You're a byproduct of slavery. You're a byproduct of all these things the same way. And you are too good to suffer with her. So once again, it says, and whether one member suffer, all the members suffer with it. Or one member be honored, all the members rejoice with it. That's another issue we have in our communities. There shouldn't be any competition in our household. It's supposed to be us against the world. America fosters this thing. A lot of movies you see this. The women saying, well, you have this good job. You're educated. He's just a bus driver. He's just a garbage man. He doesn't deserve a woman like you. You got your master's degree. Sis, if your man is your man, you should rejoice together. Men shouldn't be mad that his woman is making this money. It should be all together as one family and as one body. It's a little delay. It should be all together. And the same goes. If the man is making more money, the sister shouldn't be competing with him and thinking, oh man, he's just running everything. I need to go out and do this and get this money on the side so I can be on the same level of him. And if he gets to talking crazy, I can pack my bags up and go do my own thing. Nah, you are competing against each other. That's Willie Lynch syndrome. We're supposed to be competing as a family against these other nations. Not against other black people, not against other Hispanic people, but against the heathen. So let's drop that one and let's go to Matthew 18 and 21. Oh, okay. What time do we have? Can we spare a few minutes and just close it out? 8:15. Okay. There's no sweat.
Okay, we can go through this one.
Okay.
Matthew chapter 18, verse 21. Then came Peter to him and said, Lord, how oft shall my brother sin against me, and I forgive him? Till 7 times?
Right. How many times shall your brother sin against you? How many times shall your woman sin against you? Read.
Yahweh shall said unto him, I say unto thee, until 7 times, but until 70 times 7.
Exactly. So Christ is telling them, you have to have forgiveness and understanding for your brothers and sisters.
Right.
And that's what a marriage is about. You want to see the key to fixing your marriage and not having divorce in your household, in your communities, then we have to soften our hearts. We have to soften our hearts. The reason why Moses had the bill of divorcement was because of the hardness of our hearts. The way to end that cycle of always being separated is to soften your heart and know that this sister is going to do something that's going to make you angry, and this brother's going to do something that makes her angry. You're going to have to forgive each other and come back together again. And get angry and forgive. Get angry and forgive. And that's going to be the cycle. You want to just go ahead and try to put it on to Facebook on this line? We can do it like that. Let's see.
So we're going to have a quick instant stop, and we'll get back.
Transfer it over real quickly.